Glenn Baker, editor of New Zealand Business Magazine, and with me is Nicole Crump, the managing director of Tactix.
Hi Glenn.
You've designed a free online marketing assessment that people can use to assess just to see how well they're doing with their marketing. What do businesses get out of it?
Well Glenn, it really is just a checklist that will take businesses just a couple of minutes to complete, and it really will help them just check in to whether they're covering what we would call the key aspects of marketing for their businesses.
Okay, so what are these key aspects?
It's the key marketing activities that will make sure their businesses are set up well to drive growth in a profitable manner.
Yeah.
Now when we go into a client's business and we assess what's actually happening in their regards to marketing, we actually look at all these fundamental aspects and have a look at whether they're actually being considered and whether they're actually in place. And if they're not in place, that's where we start advising businesses to say these are some fundamental areas that you should probably place some resource and some focus on. For example, some of these areas are just, for some companies, they haven't considered, what is their unique point of difference in the market? Or who exactly is their target customers? And without understanding those fundamental areas, it is likely that a lot of your marketing effort is actually going out to the wrong people, or actually is just not as compelling as it should be. So, the test we've designed to be a really quick test for businesses to do. It will just highlight areas that companies may not be doing at the moment, or may have considered in the past but just haven't focused on for a long time. And we know from experience that if a company is actually focused on these key areas and they use it to develop a plan, they're well on their way to having a really cohesive approach to marketing themselves in their environment.
Is the test for small or medium businesses?
It really has been designed for all businesses in New Zealand, and I think anyone doing the test will get some benefit from doing it irrespective of company size.
Right, okay. Why do marketers find it so challenging to get a cohesive, integrated approach to marketing?
Well, it's not as easy as it sounds. For some businesses, they simply don't have that senior marketing expertise in-house, so it's actually quite hard for them then to line up their activities. So you've actually got the right tactical activities to actually line up with what you're trying to achieve with the business. So by doing this assessment, they will then actually be able to see perhaps where some of their gaps are in their thinking, and as a business owner you could then look at different ways to fill the gaps. So maybe it's about upskilling your team, maybe it's about bringing in new resources, or maybe securing some help from an external specialist in this area. And for other companies that do have specialist marketing resource in-house, I personally think it's a really great test that you could do even once a year just to check. It's a bit of a health check or a bit of a checklist just to say, have we considered all the key areas again that are really the basics of marketing, and have we brought them into our plan for the next year?
Okay. Now I've read the free report you sent out, and there's a lot in there with heaps of advice on how to go about implementing your recommendations.
Well, there is quite a bit of advice, and I guess that's because we didn't feel there's much benefit for people just knowing what it is they're not doing. So what we've really tried to do is to help businesses by telling them a little bit about how they could approach areas that they may not currently be considering.
Okay. You cover things like a business's point of difference. How easy is it for a business to do it themselves?
Yeah, interesting. Like most areas in marketing, you can take a really sophisticated and complicated approach to actually figuring it out, or you can actually be quite pragmatic about what you do. And it really depends on how complex your business is, the resources you have available, and even just looking at your whole distribution model and how complicated that is. What we do with the assessment is we actually just outline a fairly pragmatic and simple process for businesses. So if they're trying to work out their point of difference, we say there's probably three things we'd suggest they do. One is go and talk to your customers, find out about what it is that they really value about the products and services they're looking to purchase. Find out about what is the most essential in those priorities. When they're going to purchase, there must be one or two things that are the most important that will drive that purchase decision. And then the last thing is get them to tell you or give you some feedback on how your business is doing against those key elements in which they're actually ranking as most important. And that will help you to understand if there's a gap between what you're doing and what customers value, or whether you're spot on, in which case it probably is a great message then that you can take out to your customer group.
Thanks, Nicole. We'll talk again soon and cover some other areas of the report, because I'm really keen to know a little bit more about web strategy and social media.
Yes, that's just such an interesting area with all the developments in particular in the last few years. So I look forward to catching up with you soon.